I think it's safe to say that change is on my agenda. Change for good. And I embrace that and I enjoy that change. I don't fear it.
There are moments inside the royal family that never appear in official statements, moments that unfold behind closed doors, far away from cameras, yet somehow send shockwaves through every corridor of power. According to growing royal speculation, Prince William recently found himself confronting exactly that kind of moment, and what followed has left palace watchers asking whether a new era of royal authority is quietly taking shape behind the scenes. For years, Prince William, the future king, has carefully cultivated an image built on discipline, responsibility, and institutional stability. Unlike many public figures who respond immediately to controversy, Prince William has often preferred patience over reaction and observation over confrontation. That approach has earned Prince William a reputation among royal commentators as someone who rarely moves quickly, but when Prince William finally does act, every move tends to carry significant weight. And that is precisely why recent reports have attracted so much attention. According to royal observers, discussions began circulating about the growing presence of Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes within royal circles following the coronation of King Charles III. On the surface, there was nothing unusual about family members maintaining close relationships with Queen Camilla. Family gatherings, private visits, and informal appearances are hardly uncommon within the royal household. Yet some palace commentators began suggesting that questions were emerging about where family access ended and institutional boundaries began. What would you think if unofficial influence started becoming difficult to separate from official authority? That question sits at the center of this entire story. As King Charles III settled into the responsibilities of his reign, Queen Camilla naturally became a more prominent figure within the monarchy. With that increased visibility came greater public interest in those closest to Queen Camilla, particularly Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes. Royal watchers noted that both individuals occupied unique positions. Neither Tom Parker Bowles nor Laura Lopes held royal titles, yet both maintained proximity to one of the most influential figures within the institution. At first, few people paid much attention. However, according to palace speculation, concerns allegedly began emerging from individuals working behind the scenes. Royal commentators claim that conversations among staff gradually shifted from casual observations to more serious questions regarding protocol, access, and the perception of privilege. Whether those reports accurately reflected reality remains impossible to verify publicly, but the persistence of those rumors became a story in itself. And this is where everything becomes more interesting. Rather than responding publicly, Prince William reportedly adopted the approach that has defined much of Prince William's public life. Instead of creating headlines, Prince William allegedly focused on gathering information. Royal commentators have frequently argued that one of Prince William's greatest strengths is the ability to think several moves ahead, approaching challenges as long-term problems requiring careful solutions rather than emotional reactions. That perception only intensified as speculation continued to spread. According to several royal analysts, Prince William increasingly viewed public trust as one of the monarchy's most valuable assets. In an era where every royal expenditure, every family relationship, and every institutional decision faces intense scrutiny, even the appearance of favoritism can generate significant public criticism. For Prince William, the future king, maintaining confidence in the monarchy may be every bit as important as preserving its traditions. But something still did not add up. If concerns truly existed, why were they not being discussed publicly? Why were reports emerging through whispers, speculation, and palace commentary rather than formal announcements? Some royal observers believe the answer lies in the unique nature of the royal family itself. Unlike ordinary institutions, the monarchy must constantly balance family relationships with constitutional responsibilities, making even minor disputes extraordinarily sensitive. Do you believe protecting family harmony should sometimes take priority over strict institutional rules, or should the same standards apply regardless of personal relationships? That debate has followed the monarchy for generations. Meanwhile, commentators began connecting the situation to broader discussions about the future of the royal family. Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, increasingly represent the next chapter of royal leadership. Kate Middleton continues to enjoy significant public support, while Prince William remains central to conversations about modernization and reform. Because of that, many analysts began viewing the reported concerns through a wider lens, asking whether the future monarchy would operate differently from previous generations. The more those questions circulated, the more attention the story received. Even Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, became part of the wider conversation, not because Prince Harry or Meghan Markle were reportedly involved, but because debates about royal roles, boundaries, and expectations inevitably remind observers of earlier discussions surrounding family relationships and institutional responsibilities. And according to growing speculation, Prince William eventually reached a point where observation alone was no longer enough. What happened next reportedly transformed a quiet palace rumor into a story that royal commentators are still discussing today. Because if the reports are accurate, Prince William was preparing to take a step that would redefine exactly where the line between family access and royal authority truly exists. Before we continue, if you enjoy deep analysis of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the future of the royal family, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next chapter explores the alleged concerns that began surfacing behind palace walls and why some royal watchers believe those concerns eventually reached the desk of the future king himself. If the first signs of concern were little more than whispers moving through palace corridors, the next phase of the story reportedly transformed those whispers into something much harder to ignore, because according to royal commentators, questions were no longer centered on occasional visits or family appearances. The discussion was allegedly shifting toward access, influence, and whether certain boundaries inside royal life had become increasingly blurred. According to reports circulating among royal watchers, some palace employees had begun noticing patterns that seemed unusual, not because any single incident appeared dramatic on its own, but because the incidents allegedly accumulated over time. Royal institutions operate through layers of protocol developed across generations, and those procedures exist for one reason above all others: maintaining consistency regardless of who occupies positions of influence. When observers began suggesting that exceptions were becoming increasingly common, attention naturally followed. And this is where the story started attracting serious interest. Some commentators claim that Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes appeared increasingly comfortable within royal environments following the coronation of King Charles III. To be clear, neither Tom Parker Bowles nor Laura Lopes holds an official constitutional role within the monarchy. Yet royal observers noted that public curiosity often grows whenever relatives of senior royals appear to gain visibility during periods of institutional transition. For many royal analysts, the issue was never about personal visits. Instead, the issue became perception. Throughout modern royal history, perception has often proven just as important as reality. If members of the public begin questioning whether special treatment exists, the monarchy must address not only actual practices but also public confidence itself. Prince William, the future king, has repeatedly emphasized the importance of maintaining trust between the institution and the people it serves, which is why some observers believe Prince William was paying close attention to any concerns involving palace procedures. But something even more intriguing reportedly began emerging. According to palace speculation, a small number of employees allegedly started documenting unusual occurrences through informal channels. Royal commentators suggested that concerns ranged from scheduling irregularities to questions about access privileges and visitor arrangements. None of those claims have been publicly verified, yet the persistence of such reports created an atmosphere where rumors began feeding additional rumors, causing the story to grow far beyond its original scope. What would you do if you were responsible for protecting one of the world's most famous institutions, and reports of procedural concerns kept appearing from multiple directions? That question may explain why some royal observers believe Prince William approached the situation differently than many expected. Rather than launching a public confrontation, Prince William reportedly relied on information gathering. Royal analysts frequently describe Prince William as someone who prefers understanding a situation completely before making decisions. That reputation has followed Prince William throughout major public challenges, from royal transitions to family controversies, and many commentators argue that the same approach may have been applied here. As speculation continued, another fascinating detail began attracting attention among royal watchers. The discussion gradually expanded beyond Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes themselves. Instead, the focus shifted toward a broader question involving the future structure of the monarchy. If Prince William, the future king, intends to modernize certain aspects of royal operations, where exactly will Prince William draw the line between personal relationships and institutional responsibilities? That question becomes even more significant when Catherine, Princess of Wales, enters the conversation. Kate Middleton has consistently been associated with professionalism, discipline, and careful adherence to royal expectations. Because Catherine, Princess of Wales, remains one of the most trusted figures within the royal family, many commentators view Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, as representatives of a more streamlined and focused future monarchy. As a result, any discussion involving boundaries, accountability, or institutional reform naturally becomes connected to the image Prince William and Kate Middleton are building. Yet there was another layer quietly developing beneath the surface. Some royal commentators began comparing the situation to earlier debates involving Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Not because Prince Harry or Meghan Markle were reportedly connected to these events, but because both stories touch upon a recurring question within modern royal life. Where should the boundary exist between family identity and official royal responsibility? That question has generated debate for years. Supporters of a more traditional monarchy often argue that clear boundaries protect the institution from confusion. Others argue that family relationships inevitably create complexities that cannot be managed through rules alone. Regardless of where people stand, those competing perspectives help explain why stories like this generate such intense public fascination. And according to growing speculation, the information reportedly reaching Prince William eventually became difficult to dismiss as ordinary palace gossip. Some royal observers believe this was the moment when the future king allegedly decided that observation alone was no longer sufficient. If those reports are accurate, Prince William was preparing to move beyond simply monitoring the situation and toward a decision that could permanently redefine expectations inside royal circles. Before we continue, if you enjoyed deep analysis of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, royal succession, and palace dynamics, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because the next chapter explores the alleged review process that reportedly brought the future king closer than ever to taking decisive action, and why some royal watchers believe that decision changed everything. If the previous chapter was about growing concerns and persistent rumors, the next chapter is where the story reportedly became impossible for Prince William to ignore because, according to royal commentators, this was the period when isolated observations allegedly began forming a larger picture, one that raised uncomfortable questions about influence, accountability, and the future direction of the monarchy itself. For months, palace speculation had centered on whispers, anecdotes, and scattered reports that were difficult to verify independently. Yet some royal observers claim that Prince William, the future king, was never interested in rumors alone. According to those commentators, Prince William allegedly wanted something far more important than gossip. Prince William wanted clarity. In an institution where perception can shape headlines across the globe, acting without certainty can sometimes create more problems than it solves. And that is precisely why the stage of the story fascinates so many royal watchers. Several commentators have suggested that Prince William's leadership style differs from previous generations because Prince William often approaches challenges through careful evaluation rather than public confrontation. Whether dealing with media scrutiny, institutional reform, or sensitive family dynamics, Prince William has developed a reputation for patience. Some supporters view that patience as discipline, while critics occasionally view it as caution. Either way, the reputation exists, and according to royal analysts, it may have played a significant role here. But what happens when patience begins producing answers that cannot easily be dismissed? That question reportedly became increasingly important as discussions continued behind palace walls. According to speculation circulating among royal commentators, concerns were no longer focused solely on access to specific areas or the visibility of particular individuals. Instead, attention allegedly shifted toward the broader issue of precedent. Royal institutions often rely upon established procedures because consistency protects credibility. If exceptions become too common, observers begin asking whether those exceptions are creating new expectations that could eventually become difficult to control. For Prince William, the future king, that issue may have carried particular significance. Many royal analysts believe Prince William's long-term vision for the monarchy revolves around accountability, efficiency, and maintaining public trust. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has frequently been associated with similar values, which is one reason Prince William and Kate Middleton are often described as representing a more focused version of the modern monarchy. Because of that perception, commentators increasingly interpreted the reported concerns through a wider institutional lens rather than a purely personal one. And this is where another fascinating dimension emerged. According to some royal observers, the situation allegedly forced Prince William to confront a dilemma faced by many future leaders. How do you address concerns involving individuals connected to powerful figures without creating unnecessary conflict? Any action could potentially be interpreted as personal. Any inaction could potentially be interpreted as weakness. The challenge was not merely making a decision. The challenge was making the right decision while protecting the stability of the institution. What would you do in that position? Would you prioritize family harmony, or would you prioritize organizational standards, even if those standards created tension? That question sits at the heart of why this story continues generating discussion. Meanwhile, King Charles III remained a central figure in the wider narrative. Although much of the speculation focused on Prince William and Queen Camilla's family connections, many commentators noted that King Charles III occupied an extraordinarily delicate position. Every royal decision inevitably reflects upon the monarch, whether directly or indirectly. For that reason, observers frequently analyze stories like this not only through the lens of individual personalities, but also through the broader challenge of preserving institutional unity. Yet another layer was beginning to attract attention. Some royal analysts started comparing the alleged situation to previous moments of transition within the royal family. Whenever discussions involve boundaries, expectations, and evolving royal roles, observers inevitably reference Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Again, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were not reportedly connected to these alleged events, but their experiences continue shaping conversations about where family relationships intersect with official royal responsibilities. The comparison was impossible to ignore. Stories involving Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, and Queen Camilla often reveal a recurring theme within modern royal life. The monarchy must constantly balance personal loyalty with institutional responsibility. That balance is rarely simple because public expectations continue evolving while royal traditions remain deeply rooted in history. And according to growing speculation, Prince William eventually reached a moment when observation, review, and quiet monitoring were no longer sufficient. Some commentators claim this was the point where the future king allegedly began considering practical action rather than simply gathering information. If those reports are accurate, Prince William was no longer asking whether concerns existed. Prince William was allegedly evaluating how those concerns should be addressed without creating unnecessary damage to the monarchy itself. That distinction matters because it transforms the story from one about rumors into one about leadership. Before we continue, if you enjoy in-depth analysis of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, royal succession, and palace dynamics, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because the next chapter explores the alleged turning point that reportedly convinced Prince William to act, and why some royal watchers believe that decision sent a powerful message throughout royal circles. If the previous chapter was about gathering information, the next chapter is where royal commentators believe everything changed, because according to growing speculation, Prince William allegedly reached a point where maintaining silence no longer served the institution. Whether the reports were entirely accurate or partly exaggerated by palace rumor, many observers agree on one thing. This was the moment when questions about access reportedly evolved into questions about accountability. 4 months, the story had existed in a strange space between rumor and reality. Palace watchers discussed it, royal commentators debated it, yet no public announcement emerged from Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, or any official royal channel. That silence created an environment where speculation flourished. And according to several analysts, the lack of public clarification only increased curiosity surrounding what was supposedly happening behind the scenes. And this is where Prince William, the future king, reportedly found himself facing a critical decision. According to some royal observers, Prince William allegedly understood that leadership often requires acting before a problem becomes impossible to contain. Whether in government, business, or royal institutions, unresolved concerns tend to grow larger over time. Many commentators believe Prince William has spent years studying exactly how public trust can be damaged when institutions appear unwilling to enforce their own standards consistently. That perspective may explain why the reported response attracted so much attention. Some palace commentators have suggested that Prince William was not simply evaluating individuals. Instead, Prince William was allegedly evaluating systems. If concerns existed regarding access, protocol, or expectations, then the larger issue was not necessarily who benefited from those arrangements. The larger issue was whether the arrangements themselves aligned with the future vision Prince William reportedly holds for the monarchy. What would you focus on if you were preparing to inherit one of the world's most famous institutions? Would you focus on personalities, or would you focus on creating rules that apply equally to everyone? That question sits at the center of the reported turning point. According to royal analysts, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have consistently projected an image of professionalism, discipline, and responsibility. Kate Middleton's public reputation has become closely tied to careful preparation and respect for royal duties, while Prince William has frequently emphasized service, accountability, and public trust. Because of that reputation, many commentators interpreted the alleged actions through the lens of institutional reform rather than personal conflict. Yet another fascinating dimension was beginning to emerge. Several observers noted that any reported move affecting individuals connected to Queen Camilla would inevitably attract attention far beyond the immediate circumstances. Queen Camilla occupies a highly visible position within the monarchy, and discussions involving Queen Camilla's family naturally generate headlines. That reality reportedly increased the sensitivity of the situation because even routine administrative changes could be interpreted as evidence of deeper tensions. And this is where speculation became especially intense. Some commentators began arguing that the story reflected a broader shift taking place within the royal family. As Prince William, the future king, assumes greater responsibilities, royal watchers increasingly look for clues regarding how Prince William may eventually govern as monarch. Every reported decision becomes part of a larger narrative about leadership style, institutional priorities, and the future direction of the crown. Do you believe future leaders reveal their priorities through major public speeches, or do future leaders reveal their priorities through smaller decisions that attract less attention at the time? Many royal observers believe the answer is the second option. Meanwhile, King Charles III remained at the center of a complicated balancing act. According to commentators, King Charles III has spent years working to maintain unity across different branches of the royal family despite enormous public scrutiny. Any reported disagreement involving Prince William, Queen Camilla, or extended family members would naturally create challenges for a monarch attempting to preserve stability during a period of transition. That challenge becomes even more interesting when viewed alongside the broader royal landscape. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, continue influencing public conversations about royal boundaries despite living outside the working royal structure. The experiences of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have encouraged many observers to think more deeply about where family relationships end and institutional responsibilities begin. As a result, stories involving access, influence, and royal expectations often resonate far beyond the individuals directly involved. But according to growing speculation, the most significant development had not happened yet. Some royal commentators claim that after months of observation and evaluation, Prince William allegedly moved closer to implementing concrete changes designed to clarify expectations inside royal circles. If those reports are accurate, the objective was not confrontation. The objective was structure. The objective was ensuring that future questions about access, influence, and protocol would be addressed through clearly defined standards rather than informal assumptions. And that possibility may explain why so many royal watchers remain fascinated by this story today. Before we move into the final chapter, make sure to subscribe if you enjoy analysis of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, royal succession, and the future of the monarchy. Because the next section explores the long-term consequences that commentators believe could emerge from this controversy, and why some observers think the biggest impact may still lie ahead. If the reports and speculation surrounding this story contain even a fraction of the truth, then the most important consequence may not involve Tom Parker Bowles, Laura Lopes, Queen Camilla, or even the alleged administrative changes that generated so much discussion. The most important consequence may be what this entire episode potentially reveals about Prince William, the future king, and the monarchy Prince William is preparing to inherit. That possibility is precisely why royal commentators continue debating the story long after the initial rumors began circulating. Some observers believe the reported events represented a simple effort to reinforce institutional procedures. Others believe the situation reflected something much larger, namely an early glimpse into how Prince William may approach leadership when the responsibilities of the crown eventually pass to a new generation. And that question deserves serious attention. Throughout history, future monarchs have often revealed their governing instincts long before ascending the throne. The decisions that appear minor in the moment sometimes become the clearest indicators of future priorities. When royal analysts examine Prince William today, many focus on a recurring pattern. Prince William frequently emphasizes stability, public trust, accountability, and long-term institutional credibility. Those themes appear repeatedly in discussions involving Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. For many supporters, that consistency matters. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has become one of the most respected figures within the royal family because Kate Middleton projects steadiness during periods of uncertainty. Prince William and Kate Middleton are often described as representing a streamlined and focused future monarchy, one that places increasing emphasis on duty, efficiency, and public confidence. Whether those descriptions prove entirely accurate remains to be seen, yet those perceptions continue shaping public expectations. But another question now emerges. If Prince William, the future king, truly intends to modernize aspects of the monarchy, what happens to traditions that were built around personal relationships and informal understandings? Royal institutions have always depended on a combination of formal rules and family trust. The challenge facing Prince William may involve determining exactly where one ends and the other begins. What would you prioritize if you were responsible for protecting a centuries-old institution while simultaneously preparing that institution for the demands of a modern world? That dilemma may become one of the defining challenges of Prince William's future reign. According to some royal commentators, the broader significance of this controversy extends beyond individual personalities. The discussion touches upon questions that have repeatedly surfaced throughout recent royal history. The departure of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, forced the monarchy to reconsider expectations surrounding royal roles. The transition from Queen Elizabeth II to King Charles III created new conversations about leadership and adaptation. The rise of Catherine, Princess of Wales, as a central figure in public life introduced fresh expectations regarding the monarchy's future image. Seen through that lens, the alleged dispute becomes part of a much larger story. That larger story involves the monarchy's ongoing effort to balance continuity and change. Every generation of royals inherits traditions while simultaneously facing pressures that previous generations could never have anticipated. Prince William, the future king, will eventually inherit a monarchy operating in a media environment far more intense than anything experienced by earlier sovereigns. Every decision, every relationship, and every perceived privilege faces immediate scrutiny from audiences around the world. And this is where the conversation becomes particularly fascinating. Some analysts believe the reported controversy demonstrates how deeply public perception now influences royal strategy. In previous eras, many internal matters would likely have remained private. Today, however, even rumors can shape headlines, influence public discussion, and affect how the monarchy is perceived internationally. That reality means future leaders such as Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, must think not only about what happens inside palace walls, but also about how those developments are interpreted beyond them. Do you believe public scrutiny makes modern monarchy stronger through accountability, or do you believe constant scrutiny makes effective leadership more difficult? That question lies at the heart of many contemporary debates surrounding the royal family. Meanwhile, King Charles III continues navigating a uniquely challenging period in royal history. King Charles III inherited the crown during a time of rapid change, intense public interest, and significant family tensions. Queen Camilla has remained an important part of that journey, even as public opinion regarding Queen Camilla continues evolving. The experiences of King Charles III and Queen Camilla may ultimately provide valuable lessons for the next generation, led by Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Yet perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the story is how much remains unknown. Despite endless commentary, speculation, and analysis, the public rarely gains access to the full reality behind palace decisions. Royal institutions are designed to protect confidentiality, preserve stability, and prevent every internal disagreement from becoming public spectacle. As a result, stories like this often reveal as much about public curiosity as they do about the royal family itself. And perhaps that is the perfect place to leave this discussion. Whether you believe the reports surrounding Prince William, Queen Camilla, Tom Parker Bowles, and Laura Lopes reflect genuine behind-the-scenes tensions or simply represent palace rumors growing larger through repetition, the story raises important questions about leadership, accountability, and the future of the monarchy. More importantly, the story reminds us that the transition toward the era of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, is already underway, even if that transition remains gradual and largely invisible to the public. So now we want to hear from you. Do you believe Prince William's reported approach reflects the qualities necessary for a future king? Or do you think royal commentators are reading too much into events that may be far less dramatic than they appear? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because the conversation surrounding Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the future of the royal family is only becoming more fascinating with time. If you enjoyed this deep dive into royal drama, royal succession, palace dynamics, and the future of the monarchy, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next analysis. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next royal story.